Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to try something new today. I'm going to predict the week 1 starting quarterback for every team in 2023. I've got the list up here of the current starting quarterback, some top free agents, and the top rookies to consider. So we're going to just jump right into it. I've got it listed by division, so I'm going to go ahead and move over the guys that seem kind of obvious to me. Week 1, if Kyler's healthy, he's week 1 starter. So we're going to go ahead and put him in there. Geno Smith, he is a free agent, but there's no way they don't get away. They don't figure that out. Like, he's played so well, he deserves a big contract, and I think he wants to stay in Seattle since they took a chance on him. We'll come back to the 49ers. Matt Stafford, he's been hurt, but there's no way Baker takes that job. Justin Herbert, obviously staying. Patrick Mahomes, obviously staying. Derek Carr, some questions. Russell Wilson, some questions. Aaron Rodgers, some questions. Kirk Cousins, can he win big games? We'll find out, but he definitely gets them a really good regular season record. Jared Goff, not obvious to most people. Justin Fields, staying. Lamar Jackson, free agent. We'll come back to that. Joe Burrow, obviously staying. Deshaun Watson, paid him too much money to go anywhere else. Kenny Pickett, I think it's obvious. They got to give him another year. Dak Prescott staying. Jalen Hurts staying. Who knows what's happening there? Daniel Jones, free agent. We'll figure that out. Josh Allen staying. Mac Jones, not for sure. Tua. Now, a lot of people have started arguing that he just needs to retire already because of all the concussions. I don't think he will. He's staying. Mike White, we'll figure that out. Sam Darnold, we'll figure that out. Tom Brady, free agent, we'll figure that out. Andy Dalton, Desmond Ridder. Here we go. Trevor Lawrence, obviously staying. Kyle Allen, nope. Malik Willis, we'll figure it out. Matt Ryan / Nick Foles, we'll figure that out. All right. So let's just go down the list of what's remaining. So we have, let's see here. I have removed Geno from contention, and that's where we are. 49ers, they're going to bring back Trey Lance. They wanted him to be the guy this year. They're going to give him a full year to figure that out. And as I did in my last video, if anybody can figure it out, it's Kyle Shanahan. He's a incredibly gifted offensive mind. He'll make any quarterback look good. The Raiders, it is my prediction that Josh McDaniels will get fired at the end of the year. They'll bring in a new coach. The new coach might want a new quarterback. They're going to have a pretty good draft pick. Let's come back to him. Russell Wilson. The Broncos have already fired Nathaniel Hackett, and I think the new coach is just going to roll with him. There's too much money guaranteed. They've got to give him another year. He's shown in the past, obviously, he can be a top 5, top 10 quarterback. Maybe he can get back to top 15 for him. Aaron Rodgers, this is an interesting one. A lot of the talk is that he'll retire after this year. I think if they make a comeback and get to the playoffs, he might catch the bug and want to play again. I think there's a chance that they trade him because otherwise, what's Jordan Love been, the draft pick, been for? Let's come back to him in a minute. I want to leave the complicated ones to the end. To me, Jared Goff has earned another year. They're a top 5 offense. They were the number 1 scoring offense for quite some time this season, but he's going to stay. Lamar Jackson, I don't think he wants to sign long-term with Baltimore based on the way that they've handled this, but I think at the very least they'll franchise tag him. And what will he play under that franchise tag? I don't know. But I think they're going to tag him, and maybe we see a trade by the trade deadline if he's holding out. But I think the smart money, and the Ravens are a smart organization, is that Lamar will still be playing in Baltimore. Commanders, the scary thing as a Commanders fan is that we might just run it back with these two and figure it out. I really hope not. I think that Carson has the higher ceiling of the two, but he's just not what he used to be. I think, and the way his contract is set up, if they cut him, they save like $28 million. So I think he gets cut. I think they'll figure something out between these two things, or maybe they'll try to trade. So once again, difficult ones to the end. Daniel Jones, I think he's done enough that they bring him back. Maybe they draft a young guy and try to develop him, unless one of these top 3-4 guys make it to free agency for real, and they want to go that direction. But I'm going to say they go with Daniel Jones. Patriots, I don't think it's Mac Jones. I think that Belichick's done with him. They move on. Jets, not Mike White. Panthers, Sam Darnold has impressed me in the last couple games. If Wilkes keeps the job, I think that they bring Darnold back. And I'm going to predict that that is what happens. Now, if you're a Panthers fan, let me know what you would rather have happen. But I think that's the way things go. Tom Brady, I don't think he comes back to Tampa. And I'll get to that in a second. Andy Dalton, there's no way that he stays. Falcons, Desmond Ridder has not looked good. I think that they run it back with him, and this is just week one. I would not be at all surprised to see them draft another quarterback and develop them. Back-to-back first-round picks as quarterbacks is not a good look. Actually, I guess he wasn't a first-round pick, but back-to-back high picks on quarterbacks, probably not a great look, but, if there's good talent sitting there, they might try it. Texans, here we go. They're going to have most likely the number one overall pick, if not the second. The Bears would have the first if it's not. So maybe the Colts, they're going to be in contention. I'm going to say the Texans end up with the number one overall pick, and they're going to take Bryce Young. A little bit of mock drafting here, but I think that Bryce Young is their starting quarterback. The Titans, I know Ryan Tannehill's been the starter for the majority of the year. I think that he ends up getting traded or, is just told you're the backup. And I think Malik Willis gets the start for the beginning of the season. Colts, they're going to have the next highest draft pick that's drafting a quarterback. So I'm going to have them take C.J. Stroud, although Will Levis seems to be moving up draft boards. So we'll see what happens there. So Raiders. As I said, Josh McDaniels likely going to get fired. If they do give him a second year, even if they don't give him a second year, they might try to trade Derek Carr. If that's the case, I think that the Commanders make a move for Derek Carr. He will probably be in their price range. They might try to get more, but I don't know that anybody else would be willing to do that. So I'm going to have the Commanders trade for Derek Carr, which means we're going to have a different quarterback here. Excuse me. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the interesting one. But I think if he wants to play again, they'll let him play. He's a Hall of Famer, and he's still playing really well. He's finally got chemistry with Christian Watson. They'll have to get him more weapons, which I know pains Packers fans because they've been saying that for years. But they truly need to get him another wide receiver. So the Raiders, who would they look at? Well, they'd obviously talk to Tom Brady. They'd probably talk to Jimmy G. Or maybe they'd draft somebody. But let's jump down here real quick, and I'll give you an answer for one of these. I think Jimmy G gets reunited with Belichick. Whether, they have to trade for him, if the 49ers, franchise him and trade him. But I think if Jimmy G truly makes it to free agency, that he would love to reunite with Belichick. The defense will be there. He knows the system, and he'll be successful there, which will be scary for 49ers fans because Jimmy G has saved y'all year after year. But we'll see what happens. Derek Carr, not Derek Carr, the Raiders still don't know what to do there yet. Jets, they're going to have a middle-of-the-road pick, but they're also a team that has pieces. They've got weapons. They've got a really good defense. They just need somebody that can come in and move the ball a little bit. So to me, this feels like a good spot for Baker. And I'm going to break the news on the next one. Here's my big prediction. I think Tom Brady goes to the Saints, and I think Sean Payton comes back to the Saints. I think he takes his year break. He comes back to the Saints. I've got people that have sources, and I'm looking at you watching this video. So if that happens, I look really good. But I think Tom Brady, for sure, I think he leaves the Bucs. Saints would be really intriguing, especially if Sean Payton does come back. With the teams that we had mentioned, I think the Raiders would make sense for him as well. So put them as my second choice. But I'm going to go with the Saints landing Tom Brady. So let me update my lists a little bit. Did I say yep? And I've got these two getting drafted. So the Bucks and the Raiders. Bucks, if they miss the playoffs, are going to end up with a pretty solid draft pick, and I think they can land Will Levis. And I think at the rate they were going, the Panthers might surpass them and get the playoff spot for the NFC South. So the Raiders leaves Anthony Richardson or one of the free agents that are out there. I'm going to give them Andy Dalton. They're not going to be happy about it. I think maybe they draft an Anthony Richardson or a day two guy and Hendon Hooker or something like that, and try to develop them. But week one, I'm going to have them end up with Andy Dalton. If you're a Raiders fan, I'm sorry. Let me know how else this can go down if Derek Carr's not there. But yeah, this is going to be the list. Let me know down in the comments what you like, what you don't like, and hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. I'll see y'all next time.